Form, we here, we ready? Basically, we're almost ready. A few questions, and then we'll leave some time to do some signs. Why don't we just start here and work our way back? Yes, sir. I'm good. How are you?
I'm interested in the pamphlet field. Maybe the higher than we put out. There's a certain feeling that gave us a certain aspect and to get out. I've done the pamphlet in the Air Force.
Panther spirit is something that anybody who was in the Black Panther Party will tell you is the spirit of our ancestors. So it's the spirit of resistance, and the spirit of resistance combined with the spirit of love. So, from, the Organization of African American Unity, and then, moving back to Marcus Garvey, moving back to, organizations of resistance, people always resisted, Nat Turner, Denmark, BAC, St. Hugh. It's that spirit of resistance combined with the spirit of love. There's also a thing, and people here who were Panthers, there was an amazing thing. You would come into the office, and we didn't have much. We had a lot of strength, we had a unity, but we were poor. We'd be hungry most of the time. If you wanted to make your only guaranteed meal of the day was that meal in the breakfast program after you fed the kids. But when you came in there, or if there was some juice that was there, you would come in and you would say, is this the people's juice? Or does this belong to somebody? If people say that's the people's juice, that means you could have some. If people say, I don't know, no one would touch that. A wallet could be stuffed with money and left on the table. We didn't have it. You could be hungry. You needed coffee. If no one claimed that, that would be in the same spot for weeks. Or if you came, you said, did somebody see a wallet stuffed with money? Oh, that's your wallet, brother? Sister? It's in the drawer. It's in the bottom drawer. So that's what I'm talking about. That spirit of resistance combined with that spirit of love is the real Panther spirit. There are people who use that name and use the imagery, and they've got the anger part down, they don't have the love part down. That community service part down. That love part is what makes you get up on a cold morning, at 5 o'clock in the morning, and go across town and cook some breakfast for some kids that are not your kids, and yet you know they are. That love is what makes you get off the bus after you're exhausted, and you see the cops, or as we call them, the pigs, hassling some brother, some sister, makes you get off the bus and get between these cops and this person, ready to take a bullet for someone you never met before, but you understand that you're connected to them. So when we talk about that Panther feeling, and those of us that are involved in that kind of collective work, whether it's political work now, whether it's around prisoners, whether it's around AIDS, whether it's youth work, as I kind of gravitated toward that being the center of the work. When you're with a collective of people and you're working hard as hell, and you still respect and love each other, and you can argue about something, but you realize we need to argue about how to serve the community better. That's that Panther spirit. Think about it. Tupac, and I had this conversation with Tupac, because we used to argue about thug life, and I would say, Tupac, what is thug life? You are a Panther legacy. Huey Newton and Bobby Seale were thugs. They became revolutionaries. Malcolm X was a thug. He became politically conscious. He was a revolutionary. George Jackson was a thug. I just named so many people, and I said, so why are you moving, kind of like the opposite way? And he would be like, well, Uncle Jamal just got to keep it real with the niggas who kept it real with me. You know what I'm saying? That's what fed me, the thugs, they just did that. So, I'm trying to, he moved away from that, just before his death, but that's what he felt. And I said, well, Pac, I hear you. I said, but every now and then, and this is before he was in prison, but this is before he become like a megastar, And I said, every now and then, someone is the voice of their whole generation, and you realize that you're that voice. He says, I don't know if I'm that or not, but I know I'm gonna speak about the truth. I'm gonna act it. I'm gonna rhyme it. I'm gonna write it wherever I see it. And there's something in one of those songs that touch everybody. It may not touch us the same way. Mothers, you may be like, what is this, man? I'm tired. Every beautiful place to go is the same old roads, But then you hear Dear Mom and you go, oh my God, you start rolling up. Where's Junior? Why he haven't called me? Because he's got you. And thugs that feel isolated and you feel alone, when he talks about me and my girlfriend and you realize that's a metaphor for his gap, you've been that man. So something in it has touched people, and it's cut across generations, it's cut across races, it's cut across love, And it's that truthfulness. And plus, you know, there is that other aspect of a young, there's a friendship through him in that way too. So I think those are the combinations of that stuff. The audacity in which he lived and the truth that somehow just touches everybody at some point in your own personal way.
The Schaumburg Center hosted the Black Panther Film Festival. Bobby Seale and the leader of the Young Rose Party attributed the ebbing of the organizations to, one, not having God up in the organization, two, women having limited senses of power. I want to get your thoughts on that. Two, as a teaching artist, I just want to say great job on the book, especially the inserts with Tupac's handwritten stuff, because he demystifies the whole process of being a songwriter and a poet. So
thank you so much. And I'm glad some of my Panther sisters are here tonight. Elaine Brown wrote this book called A Taste of Power, and it has become, it has made all women in the Black Panther Party look like they were exploited, subservient, afraid of the brothers, sex slaves, and all of that. And most women in the Black Panther will say, that's BS. These were, and remain the baddest black women on the planet. I say that without reservation. What a lot of people don't realize is because the police attacked the Black Panther Party so hard and so swiftly that we were decimated in terms of men a year into the process. What a lot of people don't realize is Elaine Brown tells herself, but most Panther offices were run by women. The Black Panther Party was run by women for the last few years of its existence. I'm talking about security. I'm talking about information. I'm talking about, business in terms of managing the offices. And I'm talking about sisters that train brothers, you understand? And sisters that would whip brothers' asses for not doing the right thing. And two of those sisters are right there. Am I right, my sister? Stand up here. So they're right there. So feel free to talk to these sisters. And most sisters get upset by that perception.
No, I'm just wanting to know your perspective on what they had said on the stage.
I'm just saying that's my perspective. I'm talking about sisters that I proudly served with, right? And sisters that I served with. I was an officer in the Harlem branch, but I served alongside of these sisters who were officers. Okay, not nobody slave, not nobody anything, and they can handle it. And sometimes, like, somebody would say something, one of these sisters would get up, and I'd be like, Stephen, let's go down. Because the sisters would handle it. They ran the Black Panther Party. Because, I mean, listen, a lot of brothers were dead, a lot of brothers were in jail. They outnumbered that. And as is true of our history as a people, if it not for the strength and the resilience of black women, we would not be here. And if not for the strength and resilience of those sisters, the Black Panther Party, which eventually was wiped out by the COINTEL program, that would not have survived the ones it did.
On invitation, sometimes you don't know how life may lead you, and here I am in the Black Panther movement. Nice to be here. In the spirit of the Black Panther, in the spirit of Tupac Shakur, this language, this resistance, Tupac speaks of and exposes to his, mortality as a young man. From your perspective, as you've matured and continue to learn, are you happy with what you've seen in terms of the movement, or are we still like Tupac, very upset? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, the goal of the book, this came out, Tupac's, the 10th anniversary of his death was last week, September 13th, which is amazing, because when you say that to people, everybody goes, it's been 10 years? Yeah. It's hard, because you ask people, they go, oh yeah, 4 years, 5 years. So the goal of that was to give people something that felt like they were part of the family. This is like a family album. Afeni literally opened the vault. There's a vault where all of Tupac's masters on all these things. So she literally opened the vault and let us take out this memorabilia and share her son with the world. She didn't ask me to sugarcoat anything. She let me talk about the weed. She let me talk about, those periods where he was crazy, as well as the good parts. And so that was the goal. That was the goal of someone that a lot of us feel a connection to have something that we can hold and feel a little bit closer. It's hard to take away one opinion of Tupac. I knew Tupac and I loved him. It's hard for me to say Tupac was all of this and all of that. You know what I mean? But I think we can appreciate his complexity and his brilliance. And I think that what he wants us to know is that to him, what freedom really meant, and this is in the book, is that absolute freedom means the ability to live your life the way you want to. So we can have that. And what I would say to the artists is to keep making art and then hook up with other artists who are doing the same thing. They're networking. And Bosa, who I had to leave, is chairman of the Harlem Arts Alliance. This is a great organization that under Bosa's stewardship has grown to about 100 members to close to 500 members, individuals and organizations. The Harlem Arts Alliance is easy to find on the web. Do we have the Alliance members that know the exact web address? Yes. HARLEMAA.org. HARLEMAA.org. And they meet the first Monday morning. Riverside Church, there's a lot of Arts Alliance members. The first Monday morning at the theater at Riverside Church. First Monday morning of the month, like clockwork. And it gets to be like this. I'm so happy. Like, it gets to be like standing alone. So connect with those artists, but have audacity in your art. Don't compromise. If that's because that's what he was. He was like, other people sound like it's not so shocking anymore when people throw, this was the Thug Life salute. But not everybody does that, and we go, that's so common, we've done that. The reason why that mattered with Tupac is still matter because he was audacious. People weren't doing it like this before he came. Yes. And then, in fact, Bob, can we get ready? I want y'all to hear some music, and then inspired by Tupac, and then a few more questions, and then I want to sign some books. People did buy some books, right? Okay, that's good. All right, this is a book sign. All right, okay, that's great. Yes.
As a mother,
yes.
Personal teenager, just like this person, had a very impressive kid, and I didn't like him. I know when he was alive.
Right.
But
happiness tonight because we're at a positive event. But I could say 2 words and everybody would just get depressed, know how much work we have to do, and that's George Bush. Look, I see I'm going to move back up because it's back to himself. There's so much work to do. Right, am I right? There's so much work to do. And everyone that I talk to, listen, everyone that I talk to who's in the struggle, whether they're an organizer 24 hours a day or they just have something they do, it's amazing because I had this conversation with my wife earlier and Jazz this morning about how people in the struggle are just people of the human spirit, as Sonia Sanchez likes to say, people of the rainbow of the human spirit. Everybody's feeling exhausted these days. Right? Have you noticed that people have been feeling extra tired? And then you talk to people and they go, man, I thought that was just me. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the sister, I don't know if she's here tonight, it was Charlotte Sutton that pointed that out to me during Harlem Week. And she said, I'm just so tired. She says, and I'm getting my rest and I'm doing whatever. And then we realized that we're in a battle not only of political ideas, we're in a battle of human spirit. Right? But here's the good news. Here's the good news. We know we're in that battle. And we know, and now that we know it's not just me, you know what I mean? We're linking up to give each other energy. And guess what? I got a call from my son saying, I joined SDF. These kids on these college campuses are starting to resist. These kids in the street are starting to resist. And since I get a chance to speak at a lot of high schools and colleges and universities, I'm amazed at how much resistance, how politically savvy. Kids are rocking Che Guevara t-shirts. Half of them don't know who it is, but they're rocking Che Guevara. Listen, but that's a chance for you to stop and talk and say, now I like that t-shirt. You know what I mean? Is that Che? You'd be surprised how grateful they are for this information. A lot of us go, we can't really talk to these kids. You follow, we're scared to talk to them now. But they're giving you a conversation point. So as long as that spirit of resistance exists, and I want to say this and just to get a couple more questions, we'll come back. And as long as the spirit of resistance exists, our job is to link them up because there is a media blackout. As much information as we have, we live in the information age, people don't realize how strong the spirit of resistance is. So that's why when you do get an anti-war march and 100,000 people show up, they'll say a few demonstrators or they won't report it. Or 1 million people show up, they won't report it. So our cameras, our music, our internet, all of the things that we control, we have to become the people's network and make sure that we're communicating that system. Yeah.
Later.
Yeah.
That's what
Right.
we're teaching the children how to do now.
Right.
And for them to learn how to express themselves.
I just want to say that I was amazed. You know, I've been doing interviews, and people said, "What's one of the things that amazed you about Tupac?" One of the things that amazed me about Tupac in doing research, because even though I know him, you do the book and you want to, you know, approach it as a writer. His work ethic was amazing. Yeah, but you know, people, we think of prolific, you know what I mean, and we think of that, but I'm talking about his work ethic. I'm talking about him in the midst of all of this, right? Getting up at 5 a.m. in the morning to be on the film set, right? Leaving the film set and then going to a video shoot. Leaving the video shoot and then going to the studio. Mixing and doing all that, and then catching cat naps, because he wouldn't ride in the limo, he'd ride in the van, because he would spend that time in between taking brief naps and writing. So this is why 10 years later, he still has work to share with us. So one of the things you could say, okay, look, if you wouldn't want to be about Tupac, why are you still in bed? Tupac would be out handling his right now. What are you doing? It's that amazing work ethic. Now, I know there are a lot of writers here, and I know there's people that have life experiences. Keep your journal, your thoughts are valuable, your stories are valuable. Keep writing, keep it down, and don't keep waiting until, you know, this happens. You know, we always go like, well, when I finish this particular course, when I get my grad degree, or when my income tax check comes, or when this comes. You know, we're always putting off those things that we have to share in terms of our poetry, our songs, our journals, our memoirs. If it's nothing but something that you're leading that becomes a long letter to your younger brother, sister, your kids, we have to do that. He showed us that that's so important, and that our voices are important. Now, Impact Vibe is the alumni branch of Impact Repertory Theater. It's an organization that is 9 years old, where we give free training in Harlem in music, dance, and drama to young people between the ages of 12 and 20. The young people write their own material. There's choreography, there's music, there's dance, and all of it is original. And over the years, our song book and our drama book has grown to be volumes. I mean, literally, you know, close to 40 songs now, and volumes and volumes of spoken word and dramatic pieces. Only twice have we used other people's words in terms of our material. Once was in honor of Langston Hughes in the film that I had the pleasure of directing called Hughes Dreams Harlem. We took the poetry of Langston Hughes and turned it into a song called Dreamkeeper. And twice, Sister Shakur allowed us to take one of Tupac's songs, one of his poems, and turn it into a song that's on an album. The first album is called The Rose That Grew from Concrete, and we did a song on there called Family Tree, and the second is called The Rose True, and that is a song, a poem that's called When Your Hero Falls. And When Your Hero Falls was written by Tupac when he found out that his mother was on crack. And he wrote this really profound poem that talks about what happens to you when your hero falls from grace and what that means to you. And this is something that Afeni, again, knowing what that poem was and knowing that it was at a weak and vulnerable time in her life, it's not a poem that she was putting the poetry collection together that she did. And it's not something when we said the song that we wanted to do was When Your Hero Falls, it's not something that she said, well, don't do that one because I'm trying to forget that part of my life. So the words by Tupac Shakur, the melody and the music by Impact, Maestro Charles Mack, who's our musical director, and the members of Impact Vibe, which is our alumni group.
to stars and back. Walk around any doors, on stage with the back.
Every 20 trips, one whenever free son, I need to see
Just reach up when it seems you have enough. Reach up, baby, and you know when it's right. Just reach up, strong enough, use your hands to look inside yourself. Just reach up when it seems you had enough. Reach up, baby, and you know when it's right. Just reach up, strong enough, keep your head lifted up.
All right, Brother Chef Daniels gave me this. There will be Sunday, October 1st at 2 p.m. in Riverside State Park, an East Coast celebration of the 40th anniversary of the Black Panther Party. All are invited. Okay, that's the day, October 1st, which is a Sunday. All right, 40th anniversary celebration. And if that will perform, our full contingent, yeah, the kids will be out there for that. Okay, so 3 more quick questions, but I'm ready to sign some books for people. Are we good to sign some books? Let's sign some books, okay?
Big win.
Good job.
One day in New York.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, they do have this